Hey guys, it is Duke, and welcome back to another episode of our Minecraft Singleplayer Survival Let's Play. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. I am, and I'm glad to be back for another video. So, in the last episode, we did a few things, not a whole lot, but we're trying to figure out our exterior of our base, because obviously a lot of downstairs is going to consist of an underground base that will be fully self-sustainable. But in the last episode, we were able to grab ourselves a dog. This is Duke, obviously, named after the channel. Actually, though, if you really want to know something, my real-life dog is named Duke, and that's what the channel's named after. Therefore, this dog is named after the channel, which is named after my real-life dog, which is named after nothing, actually. We just kind of named him Duke because it's cute. But anyways, yeah, so here's what we did in the last episode. We have a little bit of a berry patch here, which I think turned out alright, and a little bit of an area right here where there's a barrel to store any berries, which we might collect from said farm. We're going to have like a big strawberry field at some point. For now, it's just this. You know, obviously I want to automate it, but for the time being, I think that works. Here we have a little bit of a custom tree, which is basically just a big tree, which I added a few more branches like this here. Just made it a little bit larger, added in some fence, expanded, and just made it look a lot nicer. We also built some roads in the last episode, and I think I want to sleep before we do much of anything else. But I have done a little bit of stuff off camera, and by that I just mean I've kind of... well, I guess I've done a little bit more than I thought. So if we come on outside, we can see that we have laid out a little bit of an area over here, which is something we would like to do today. So we have a little bit of a gravel road, which will go obviously into the ground and not just look like it does now. I plan on using the same type of road we have here, and I think this might be dangerous, but we need to light these caves up because I'm kind of getting annoyed by myself for doing such a thing. There's an Enderman right there. But we're so close to the surface. Oh, I hear him. Where is that skeleton? I don't know. But we need to light all this area up, guys, because something that's been kind of driving me insane is I'll walk over this and then I just hear repeated sounds. And it's just like, really? I could have just done a better job lighting it up and we would never have had to deal with that, but we do now. But anyways, we have a little bit of a better area set up over here. I filled in a huge hole. I don't think I lit it up, so way to go, Duke. We got to fix that again. But I want to use this pond right here to our full ability. I kind of like having one. It's one of the only ones I did not cover, and honestly, I think it would be best to add in a little bit of some sort of body of water. We have the river down there, which I might expand, make it a little bit nicer, but we covered a lot, basically everything that had water on the surface in this general vicinity here, except for maybe, you know, those little bits where we have on our wheat field. But I feel like we can kind of beauty up this area right here, and we can still put stuff around it, still make it look nice. But definitely I think it would be a good idea to have a better looking lake right here, as this is basically where we're going to be spending a lot of our time. Obviously we want to work on that base underground, and I think that would be very valuable to have, you know, our entire underground base, which is going to be a huge part of this season, if this is a season. Maybe this is just a never-ending world, we'll see. But guys, one thing I would like to do today, and I've already designed in an off-world, but a non-YouTube creative test world. I built a little bit of a farmhouse, and it's really small. It goes along with the same kind of pattern that little thing, that little home over there did. But I think I tied it in well, and we're going to be able to build little cobblestone walls all the way around here, expand our wheat, which I'd like to do, bring it up onto another level here. So one thing that's kind of driving me insane about this current wheat field that I don't like is the fact that since it drops down right here, it doesn't really look that good because it's all at the same height elevation. One thing I think would be pretty cool is if we went ahead and we pushed it up to that wall there, and then maybe bring it out along here as well. I'm gonna have to cut these trees down as much as I love them. We can find better spots for trees like that later, especially considering we have a taiga in our backyard. So I may transform that biome into just a mega taiga at some point. But this is all available wheat field, and I think for the kind of theme that I want our exterior base to have is kind of just be a little bit of a farm town, because that's what I see when I think of a grassland village, like so over there. I think it'd be kind of cool. Rather than building a huge city right here, I think what we're going to do is make everything kind of quaint, rural, and just kind of peaceful. Obviously, we're building a stable. I think it would look kind of out of place to have anything bigger than that. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to gather up the needed materials to come on over here, and at some point be able to build a beautiful little home, which obviously won't be very useful for us in particular, more just for aesthetic reasons, but I think that could be a very, very cool thing in the end. I'd love it personally. I love the idea of just having builds around that are solely just for looks rather than anything else. Obviously, having use in a build is also very special, but we will have plenty of those, so don't worry about this. If this is just something that looks cool next to our wheat field, we're going to go for it. But if you guys can't tell, I'm following the same kind of build style that we have on the other area over here with that little house there, which I am totally okay with because I really, really do like how that turned out. So I think what I'm going to do is build the majority of this off camera, just for the fact that I'm not entirely familiar with what I did. I don't quite remember all of it. So just to save you guys through the struggles of seeing just a horrible build job, because, well, that is very, very possible to be something that you're going to get stuck with here. I think for everyone's sake involved, let's just do the majority of this off camera, and we will come back when we have something kind of constructed here. Alright guys, so I've been doing a little bit of work here, and you can kind of see the whole shape of this coming together. It's not an overly large build, and in fact, pretty similar shape and size to the one over there. I mean, think about it. This is only a 9x5 on the inside. Obviously, it's a little bit larger if you include the walls, but as far as workspace goes in here, this 3x3 is what I had in there. So we've gotten a little bit bigger, but really nothing all that special. However, I really like how this is going. Obviously, we're going to have to go grab some more wood because the wood material is very, very valuable. Actually, those might be windows. Don't remember how I did that. Those might be windows, they might not. But obviously there's a lot of windows come second story, so we're going to have to do that. But I brought you guys back here a little bit earlier than I thought I would, but that is quickly just to mention a few things about this series in general. So I know I mentioned in the last video talking about the stable, trying to get that done at some point. And don't think I forgot about that. I definitely want to do it, but if we come on in here in our little area, we're going to hang a left right here. I have a small to-do list. So this is basically just the things that I know I want to do right now, but guys, I am open. I would love to hear what you guys think to do, and I just want to be able to come up with as much inspiration with this series as possible. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm having a great time, but I want to hear what you guys think as well. So obviously we have to finish the base interior, which is just, you know, this area for now. Build the stable, which I talked about in last episode. Now this episode, the wheat farmhouse is now. We need to get to the nether. That is very big. I believe this is episode 7, so because of that, I think we can do that on episode 10. Just kind of, you know, kind of makes sense to go to the nether on episode 10 or like a special number like that. Proper animal pens. We have those cows kind of just blocked in right now. I don't really like how that looks. We're going to have to do that. I want to find a stronghold so we can beat the ender dragon. We need to beat a wither for a beacon. Be an ocean monument just because I've never actually done that before and I'd love to do it. Villager breeding. I'd like to do that either next episode or the episode after that. And then a proper bee setup. So I already have a couple episodes kind of planned out now. Obviously a lot of it is kind of what it's not really anything that you guys know about, but I do have those episodes planned out. So when it says proper bee setup, I just mean all of these bees that are out back, I don't want them to be anymore. I'd love to find a better location for them. But in that same episode, I kind of want to go around in the area right around our little home here. I'd like to transform it. So a big thing on that list, which it's really going to be a small build, but it's kind of important to me, is getting Duke a little doghouse. So I think it'd be kind of cool either over here or over there, find some space, maybe put a little doghouse, maybe put some bushes and other things around here. So this little hill up here kind of has some home feeling to it. I like the bees. I think it works well. But I would really, really appreciate being able to move these guys. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but we'll figure that out. Obviously, yes, the stable's right there. It needs to be done. But we're focusing on this in today's episode. I don't know how much we'll get over in this area today, but I do have quite a bit, guys. It is Labor Day weekend for those who live in the United States of America, and because of that, I have a little bit more time than normal. And the only thing about that is, well, we just got done with our first full week of classes this week, which I have to head over to the studio at some point, work on my projects that I have there, because, well, there's still work that needs to be done, and obviously I can't just take an entire weekend off from school. So I'm going to go ahead, start working on this a little bit more, and I think in the next little clip here that you guys see, we should have an even further along build from what you are looking at right now, and hopefully very, very near the final product. So I'd like to have that done hopefully as soon as possible. I think you guys should be able to see the finished product in 2 clips from now. I don't know why I'm saying that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, because if it doesn't turn out that way, it's like, well, why did I say that? That doesn't make any sense. But I think it would just be kind of cool to try to get as much of this done as we can for the time being. Personally, I don't see something that would require us to take any longer than that amount of time, so I think we should be able to knock this out fairly quick here, guys. But I'll be back with you guys when we're there. Alright, guys, so we are just finishing up this little house here. I really, really do love how it's turned out. Big fan of how it looks in my test world, so hopefully I get that same kind of feeling here when we actually see it for the first time from far away in our YouTube world. And it is getting dark, so hopefully we can get this figured out ASAP, which, if you guys can see here, I'm using like the most stereotypical Minecraft 1.14 build. The build itself I like, but this whole idea of the campfire as a chimney is absolutely blowing me away. I love it. It's just really overdone, I think, at this point, so I'm sorry for the unoriginality. I used it on my other house, but it just kind of works, and personally I think it adds a lot of character to the building, so we're going to go with it. So let's step off here real quick. I think we can just dig out that, and let's keep our heads down, keep our heads down, keep our heads down. We're good. Now, I went with a light blue colored bed in here, and obviously I'm going to decorate the inside. This isn't finished, but I really like the idea of a light blue bed in a farmhouse, because for whatever reason, when I think of like farmhouse colors, maybe not this bright, but the idea of like a quilted bed with white and blue, like a light baby blue on top, just kind of works for me. So that's what we've gone with. But let's take a step back and see how this house looks from afar. So 3, 2, 1, wha-bang! Okay, so a few things you might notice immediately is it looks as if I took one of those, doubled it, and added a little bit of a dividing wall in the middle, which is roughly what I did, except I added, you know, a little bit more detail when it comes to the roof, as well as just the concept of the floor plan on the inside. Because obviously, when you step inside here, guys, you'll see a much bigger layout. And for those who watched me build that other house over there, you know that I only have a 3x3 interior, which makes it really cramped. But this is just so much bigger. Right here, you immediately walk into a 5x5 little walk space, and it has stairs going up, as well as a fence gate, which opens up down to our lower area, which is meant to feel kind of dirty because it leads you out into the wheat field itself. So this is kind of, you know, where the farmer is done planning, or like working with his crops for the day, and that he's coming on inside, comes on in here, takes off his boots, whatever. Maybe I'll put a little tap for a sink or something so he can clean himself, and then he heads on up here. Either we'll have a living area or a kitchen here, and then come up here we'll have the other one, and then a bedroom. So maybe he's single, maybe he lives on his own, but he just loves what he works on, so he doesn't really need much else. That's okay. We have the chimney, of course, up top, which I used a little bit of a cobblestone design here, which kind of works its way on up thinner, getting to the point where we actually have where the chimney itself is, where is what a fireplace would be. So over there we have our house. Over here we have the farmhouse. Sparks flying. But I like this house overall. I think it works, and I really like how it has come to work well with the landscape here. You know, we are up a level here, down level here, and it works. I think that was something I wanted most with this house to build, was to find a way where we could enter at one level, go up just a single set of stairs right there, and then head on up to your actual living area. And I think it works because of the design we worked with there. This is what I'd normally build if I'm going to keep the same style, which I'd like to. But we have a little bit more room, a higher ceiling, even though it's the same levels in there, because it steps down here, feels a lot more open, which I think is good, but it still has the cozy aspects. So, very, very cool, but there's nowhere near all we're doing today. I'd love to clear out this grass, build a road here, maybe work on this some more because I haven't really even touched it, but I love the idea of building a proper little pond here. I think it would add a lot of character to this area, and honestly it just did not look good with what we had. So I think what I'm gonna do is kind of shape out a pond here a little bit better than what was originally put in through the natural generation, which you know, has its moments, but for the most part, as long as ponds still exist in this game, they'll never look quite right unless Mojang really does some work. See, immediately guys, we've obviously done a lot of work, and all we did was just expand a little bit of the corners, make it a little bit rounder, which I think helped a lot with just the shape. And oh my gosh, we were drowning for a second, so let's not do that. But very, very simple, just expansion, just a little bit. It's not completely circular. I don't want it to be. I might actually have to work on this a little bit more because it made it a lot more oval shape than I wanted. I don't want it to look man-made, so we might have to do a little bit of work on that. But guys, I think it would be very important for me to see how much time we have left in today's episode, and then based off that, make a judgment call to whether you're going to see a lot of this building on camera or off camera. Obviously, the house I built off camera, but by doing so, saved myself a lot of time to do other things. So, let's chop down those trees, let's build a road here, and we'll figure out what we can do next. Alright guys, so we've gone ahead and gotten all of the area that we have blocked in, gone ahead and planted, or at least, if it's not planted, it's tilled, it's ready to go. Very, very nice. But we've done a couple things, not a whole lot, because I'm realizing we're just about out of time for today's episode, but we have a few things that I have planned for maybe not the next, but at some point in the near future. Maybe I'll just do it off camera, I don't know. But over here we built a very little just kind of patch of where we have a campfire here, and I want to add stuff to this. This is nowhere near the finished product. I want to come through and actually build maybe a tent or something. I don't know, just something kind of cool. Just have a little a little campfire. We can sit around and tell stupid stories and stuff. But we have an idea of what we want over here. I've expanded this. I've made it a little deeper. I do want there to be like cobblestone floor and stuff in there. We also have cobblestone walls, which are, I like the idea of them broken up. We want leaves and stuff. We want, I don't know, we'll get there. This is nowhere near, again, the finished product, just me experimenting with some stuff, same as over there. We also have a little bit of a custom tree here. Very, very small, nothing too crazy. It's a lot smaller than that. I don't know if we'll keep it. We might get rid of it, might tear it down, start over. But as far as the interior of the house, that's actually what we did the most off camera, and I think it's kind of interesting. So if we come on in here, I've done my best to use lanterns and everything rather than torches, which I think would be very, very nice. And we have a crafting table, a smoker, a smithing table. So my idea for this is that this guy would hypothetically be living alone, and therefore he does not need a huge kitchen and all that stuff, but he has what he needs. So a smithing table, I don't know what he'd necessarily need that in this area of his house for, but he does. But if you come on down here, we have a couple things. So we've gone ahead, he's got, you know, an area to clean off his shoes. Maybe it's a sink, maybe it's just a wash bin, I don't know, but there's a little tap there which ideally would have water flowing out of it. as well as his handy hoe, which would be in an item frame up there, a blast furnace for food, a chest, which honestly just has stuff that I need to clear out of it. But he's got a little flower, which I think the red poppy along with stone brick is like so iconically Minecraft that we had to do it. We have a little lantern hanging over there, which again, I mentioned how I'm trying to be able to light this entire house up with lanterns and no torches because I think it adds to a homey feel. We also have a armor stand sitting on a trap door, which personally I really like. I think it adds a little bit of a foundation to armor stands that even though they had a small one, I think adding it a little bit bigger is nice. We also have just a little area out here where I'm probably going to do more to it, but for the time being it's just some coarse dirt and cobblestone, which kind of gives you an area to walk out on. And then we have some slabs which allow you to walk down without destroying all the crap, so that's pretty cool. To make our way upstairs though, because we need to sleep and I need to show it off. So again, another use of the lantern. I experimented with putting it up here, but I think for the time being we'll just have it there. I don't know if that's where I want it. Not a huge fan of it being right where it is, but it's fairly central and it kind of works. Again, nothing too crazy here, but the idea is that this dude lived alone, so he can come up here, sit by himself, or maybe read a book, write in his journal, or stare out into, I don't know, whatever's out there. So I think we want a villager in here at some point. I'm definitely going to try to round one up and bring him over. But we also have a bedroom, which I've added a painting and a few other decorations. Not a whole lot. It's got a clock. It's got, you know, a lantern, a barrel with a tulip on top, and the Slenderman painting. But let's take a quick nap. Again, I didn't really go too deep into decoration in this house, but I don't think it was necessarily needed. I feel like, you know, with this not being our main house, that is for the time being, I like it. I think it works well. And oh no, oh no, please stop. There we go. Anyways, one thing I noticed off camera, which I apparently have not noticed, we don't have the current sky because I guess we're in, you know, an updated, what is it, you know, snapshot. So we don't have that for the time being, which is kind of annoying, but it's okay. We can work with it. But guys, I think this is where we're going to have to wrap up today's episode. I wanted to get more done, but frankly, I need to get this episode out to you guys, and it would be kind of nice to start fresh in another episode where maybe do some stuff off camera when I have time, when I can't record. But for the time being, thank you guys so very much for watching. Hope you did enjoy today's video. If you liked it, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and like to see you next. If you're new to the channel and have already not subscribed, maybe stick around, maybe enjoy some other of my content. But for those of you who keep clicking on these videos, keep enjoying it, I thank you so very much for that, and I hope everybody just has a great day. This has been Duke, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.